We have just a few weeks left before the 30th of July, and we would like Zimbabweans to know that we are conducting final preparations to ensure that the 2018 harmonized elections are successful. We have finished the decryption of the remaining registrants who registered during the voters' roll inspection period, and these entries are now on the final voters' roll, which has a total of 5,695,706 voters. These voters have been broken down for your consumption into provinces, male, females per province, and total voters. I'll just take as an example, Bulawayo Metropolitan has 138,000 females and 120,000 males, and Mashonaland West has 331,000 females and 323,000 males. So that will be part of the brief which you can actually have access to at the end of this process. With regards to this week's activities, we would like to report that we have recruited about 130,000 officers required for the polling exercise. The Commission has already recruited 210 constituency election officers and their deputies, and their training was conducted from 2 to 4 July 2018, and these have already been deployed into the field. An additional 1,958 ward election officers and their deputies have been recruited, and they will be trained between 16 and 18 July 2018. The recruitment of 10,985 presiding officers will be finalized end of this week, while that of polling officers will be concluded on 20 July 2018. A recruitment of the electoral staff is done in terms of Section 10 of the Electoral Act, which directs ZEC to recruit from the Public Service Commission, parastatals, local authorities, and the Health Services Board. It is important to note that in order to allow those on electoral duties to vote on polling day, the Commission has facilitated postal votes for some, while others will be deployed in areas they were allocated polling stations when they registered as voters. In terms of Chiefs Council elections, the provincial assemblies of chiefs shall meet at provincial centres on 11 July 2018 to elect members of the Council of Chiefs. The elected Council of Chiefs will meet at Mkwati Building in Harare on 18 July 2018 at 10 o'clock in the morning for the purpose of electing the President and the Deputy President of the Council of Chiefs, who shall be ex officio senators. The Commission has established a total of 10,985 polling stations throughout the country. The list of polling stations has been published in today's press and will again be published on polling day. The law compels the Commission to establish adequate polling stations in each of the country's 1,985 wards, with each polling station being located at a place that is readily accessible to the public, including persons with physical disabilities. However, Section 51, subsection 1b of the Electoral Act prohibits the establishment of polling stations in the following areas: premises owned or occupied by a political party or candidate, or in a police station, barrack, cantonment area, or other place where police officers or members of the defense forces are permanently stationed, or premises licensed under the Liquor Act. So we obviously can't have a polling station at a nightclub, for instance, or any place which for any reason may give rise to reasonable apprehension on the part of voters as to the secrecy of their vote or the integrity of the electoral process. The Commission would like to inform the public and all stakeholders that it is not necessarily true that all registration centres that were set up during the voter registration exercise will become polling stations during the 2018 harmonized elections. Some registration centres were just set up to facilitate ease of voter registration. This will hopefully address false reports circulating on social media about a polling station allegedly located within a cantonment area in Zuarasi. The Zimbabwean law has provisions for election observers but we don't have any provisions for election monitors. To date, the Commission has accredited 830 election observers for the impending harmonized elections. The accreditation process will continue up to the election day. Observers are reminded of the need to follow the Observers' Code of Conduct, which compels them to obey every lawful instruction by an electoral officer, deceased from hindering or obstructing an electoral officer from the lawful conduct of his or her functions, desist from wearing any apparel, sporting or prohibited symbol or apparel indicating any affiliation with a candidate or political party participating in the poll, nor in any other way canvass for any candidate or political party while observing the poll. There are a lot of other do's and don'ts for election observers, which I've taken the trouble to put down again in my weekly brief, which you can read for yourself. We would like to remind observers that they are not allowed to attend multi-party liaison committee meetings, unfortunately, but can only do so upon consensus among committee members. In the event that they are allowed to attend, observers are not allowed to record those proceedings. The purpose of those proceedings really is to build consensus between political players around contentious issues. The Commission and all electoral officers shall take all steps necessary to ensure that accredited observers are able to exercise their functions. In conclusion, I would like to say that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is taking steps towards ensuring that the elections will be conducted peacefully in an environment that ensures that the will of the electorate prevails. We are satisfied as a commission, and as you can see today we have the full commission. Welcome, Commissioner Mshonga.
Thank you.
We are satisfied that our preparations are well on course, and we are satisfied that we are ready to discharge our mandate in accordance with the law.